This video is to allow you to correct your homework for section 3.1.1. So they want you to look at this expression, 7 plus 3 times 4 plus 2. What movements would this represent for Cecil walking on his tightrope? And then they want you to draw a diagram to show his movements and the length of his walk. So what they want you to recognize is that you'd have your 7 units to the right, and then you'd have 3 sets of 4 units to the right, and then another 2 units to the right at the end. So your diagram doesn't have to look exactly like this, but this would be the concept. And then what does that equal? Well, we've got 7 plus 3 groups of 4 plus 2, which is a total of 21. How many different answers can you get by grouping differently? Add parentheses to this to create new expressions with as many different values as possible. So one possibility would be to put the 4 plus 2 in parentheses. Now, order of operations would tell you to do the 4 plus 2 first, which is 6, multiply by the 3, which is 18, and then add the 5. So, of course, it's going to give you 25. Another one you could do is to put the parentheses around 7 plus 3. So then negative 10 times 4 plus 2, which gives you 42. And then the other possibility is to actually put parentheses around the 7 plus 3 and the 4 plus 2. So 7 plus 3, of course, is 10. 4 plus 2 is 6. 10 times 6 is 60. Here you have to find the distance between each pair of points if they were graphed on a number line, and they want you to show your work using absolute values and symbols. So if we're starting at negative 27 and 1/10, and we're going past 0 all the way up to 53 and 2/10, what would that be for a distance between them? Well, we could think of that as negative 27 and 1/10 minus 53 and 2/10. Okay, because we can think of it as the difference between them is the distance. We could also think of it as, starting with the positive, 53 and 2/10 minus negative 27 and 1/10. Or another way you could think of it is the distance from negative 27 and 1/10 to 0 would be 27 and 1/10. The distance from 0 to 53 and 2/10 would be 53 and 2/10, and we're going to combine those together. So either way, you get 80 and 3/10. Again, if you picture it on a number line, it might, if you picture it on a number line, it might help. This many units to 0, and then from 0 to this. Same thing here. You can think of it as the distance from this to 0, the distance from 0 to this, so you're adding them together or combining them. So I wrote it in both of those ways. You can start with the 71 and 54 hundredths minus the negative, or you could write it as starting with the negative and subtracting the positive. Again, those are both the same because distance doesn't matter where you start or end, it's just the difference between them, and you end up getting this. Now this one's a little bit different because they're both negative. So you can still write it in the same way, but if you're trying to calculate the value, you would have to think about the distance from this to 0 on the number line, distance from this to 0 on the number line, and then subtracting them. So find the missing information from the following relationships. If Mark has downloaded 4 times as many songs on his music player as Chloe, and Mark has 440 songs, how many does Chloe have? Well, of course, if he has 4 times as many as her, she would have 110, which, if you multiply by 4, would give the amount he has. Cece likes to collect shoes, but she only has half the number of pairs her friend Aubrey has. If Cece has 42 pairs of shoes, how many does Aubrey have? Aubrey would have then twice as many, 84 pairs. Tito walked 3 more miles than Danielle. If Danielle walked 2 miles, how far did Tito walk? 2 miles plus the 3 more would give you 5 miles. After a pizza party, Julia has parts of 5 pizzas left over, as shown. Each pizza was originally cut into 12 pieces, and the shaded areas represent the part that's not eaten. So what fraction of pizza A is left? So you're going to count up how many. You've got 7 parts out of 12, so 7/12. If we added them all together, how many whole pizzas could you make? So So if you take 7 twelfths plus 1 twelfth plus 5 twelfths plus 2 twelfths plus 10 twelfths, you end up getting 25 twelfths, which means you could get 2 whole pizzas with 1 left over. So 24 twelfths would be the 2 whole pizzas, and you'd have 1 extra slice. And then Julie wants to write it as a fraction. How could she do that? Again, 25 pieces where each pizza holds 12 slices, 25 twelfths. Here you need to complete the generic rectangle. So you're asking yourself, what, for example, do you multiply by 5 to give you 100? That would be 20. And then 20 times what would give you 200? Well, that would be 10. 10 times 7 would be 70. 7 times 5 would be 35. So this is 27 times 15, or you can switch the order, 15 times 27. And you're going to get what these all add up to as a total, which is 405.